Sony is going to ship a whopping 400% more consoles year over year this holiday season, and there is a very good reason for them doing so. Not only does this coincide with some of their goals, but there's a certain game launching that they want to make sure you get to play on PlayStation 5. Let's dive into this story right now. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. It helps the channel. Liking the video helps the channel. So thank you for watching. So let's start with the percentage increase. That's a big number. And I think we all know the game and the reason why they want to get those consoles out the door. But there's a lot to dive in here. There's been a lot going on with PlayStation 5 in terms of them lowering the component costs for themselves and some goals that they've set in the past for how many total units they want shipped. So diving right into this story, this comes from Eurogamer. PlayStation 5 shipments are up 400% in the US just in time for God of War Ragnarok. I think everybody knew that PlayStation would want to increase sales in time for the God of War Ragnarok release. And this is coming from David Gibson, who tweeted a bit about these consoles being shipped out. Lots of reports of improved PlayStation 5 supply in the past few months, but no data until now. Import data into the US confirms that Sony Interactive PlayStation shipments in September were 400% increased year over year. Yes, you read that right. Some of that will go into inventory for God of War launch for sure. So what does that mean for you? I have to imagine if you've been trying to get a PlayStation 5, it seems like this holiday season is going to be your best bet to finally get one, at least in the United States. Now, they specify that this is for the US market, which did not see a price increase. We're unclear about other territories at this time, but a 400% year over year increase is staggering to say the least. And I remember tweeting out not that long ago when the Horizon bundles were coming out that, hey, I just saw this like an hour late and I was able to get a console if I wanted to. I didn't actually buy it, but a lot of people were able to use that link and secure a PlayStation 5 for themselves. So be keeping an eye out for those bundles, probably God of War Ragnarok with a PlayStation 5. And I think you're going to have a pretty good shot at getting one this holiday season. Do not buy from a scalper. Please don't reinforce that sort of purchasing behavior. But in addition to this, so you're going to see a 400% year over year increase in console sales. There's also a report coming from Insider Gaming that says Sony is to ship 30 million PlayStation 5s in financial year 23. And this is another exclusive from Tom Henderson and his new outlet. And basically it says the following. Sony is aiming to ship, let's see if I can enlarge this without overlapping with my box here. Sony is aiming to ship 30 million PlayStation 5 consoles in fiscal year 23. That's March 2023 to March 2024, sources have said. So this is a 400% increase year over year in the coming months. And this other report is about next year, so going forward. These figures were briefly mentioned in our exclusive report last month on a new PlayStation 5 releasing with a detachable disk drive. Since then, sources have provided more information on the anticipated PlayStation 5 sale numbers. Production of the new detachable disk drive console is expected to start in April 2023, with the console hitting the market in September of that year, sources said. It is said that Sony aims to sell 18 million consoles in financial year 22 and 30.5 million in financial year 23, just shy of a 70% increase year over year. 12 million of the 30.5 million consoles in financial year 23 will be of the old PlayStation 5, with that console completely ceasing production by the holiday of 2023. It's believed that the new detachable disk drive PlayStation 5 is a means to reduce production costs moving forward. The company will not only need to manufacture one console, but have the two price points of the digital and disc versions. Presumably, this could mean that the detachable disk drive will be priced at around $100, which is currently the price difference between the digital and standard PlayStation 5. And then he goes on to talk about David Gibson's tweets, which I mentioned before. And all of this is about Sony hitting its sales targets. Now, they had a sales target of, it's here at the bottom of the article, 70 million consoles by the start of financial year 24. That would be huge for them. 70 million in that short of a cycle of a console release is huge. That is just awesome for Sony and for people that want to get a PlayStation 5 in terms of profit revenue. What's a little bit less awesome that was pointed out recently is the fact that there was a price increase. So if you haven't heard, in a lot of territories, the PlayStation 5 price has been increased in select markets due to global economic environment, including high inflation rates. And those areas include Europe, UK, Japan, China, Australia, Mexico, and Canada. Separately, Austin Evans got a hold of one of these new consoles, and yes, they've released another PlayStation 5, and it's a full internal redesign. Inside of that console, the PlayStation 5 1200 model is 1 pound lighter than the launch model, according to Austin Evans. It pulls 20 to 30 watts less and delivers roughly the same noise and heat output. Sony shrank almost everything, including motherboard and internal packaging, to make it lighter and almost certainly cheaper for them. So here's what I hope Sony does, because this is really bad PR for them. So they've reduced the cost of their consoles. They've increased the price of it in several territories. There's this rumored detachable disk drive that they're developing. So that's going to add a potential extra SKU that people are going to be able to purchase. I hope they make it right and they figure out a way to pass along any savings that they're able to create by phasing out the old PlayStation 5 and offer that to their customers. Why, when you're the market leader, would you do this move? I'll tell you why. Because they know people are going to buy PlayStation 5s anyway. Every analyst said no matter what, they're still going to move these units. Now, there was one other piece of data in David Gibson's tweets that you might find interesting, and that's how much the increase will be for Xbox consoles. Let's dive into that really quick. If you look, that's U.S. imports, to be clear. Sorry. So how is it for Xbox? Data requires more interpretation to get the right sources, but based on my estimate, Xbox supply into the U.S. in September is up 89% over year. So Nintendo, not so good, it appears. Let's talk about Nintendo also. With September, a negative 59% year over year, but the company is ramping production and is using air freight. This data is sea freight, hence may not be as bad as shown. So he doesn't have full data on Nintendo. He knows Xbox is increasing about 89% or year over year, but a 400% year over year price increase, or stock increase for PlayStation 5s. With everything considered, it is great news because it means more gamers who are really into the PlayStation 5 brand are going to be able to get their hands on a console at a reasonable price, not these scalper marked up prices. And I really, really hope we don't see a ton of scalping with the PlayStation 5 consoles, because I would rather see PlayStation people who want to get their PlayStation 5. I have mine. It's right there. So I have one. I hope everybody else who wants one can get one, because a lot of people have been waiting a long time to get these things. So that is the story for today. And here at the end, I usually say thank you so much for watching. I'll do that again now, but I have one other thing I want to talk to you about. So thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and thank you to the members. All the members here are awesome. And if you want to become a member to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button right down there. But there's a recommendation here, and I want to recommend that you watch the Herman Hulst interview breakdown that I did, because he has a ton of great points. So if you want to watch one other piece of my content, I'm doing that this time. And you can, of course, hit the subscribe button to make things easier for yourself. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now, everybody.